harbour wall. Hello! Nothing but the North Sea. Next stop, Norway. Hello again.
Ah, young Mr. Danvers. You'll be wanting your book.
Yes. Did you open it?
Of course. Wouldn't be much of a handyman if I hadn't.
You didn't read it, did you?
Nope. Reading's not my strong point.
You can't read?
Reading's not the only skill, you know.
Oh, quite. I should go somewhere private to study the book. Three crowns. A link to the legend. A serpent or dragon guarding a treasure. Ager House, Raven Lane, Northfield, a possible lead. Ager. A name to look out for. Now for the rest of the book. The tracks, the fens. Perhaps this Ager character lived along the train line. A possible lead. The tracks, the fens. Perhaps this Ager character lived along the train line. A possible lead. There's something wrong with the signal. Is it stuck? Hello! I have no idea where this leads, if it leads anywhere at all. This must be Ager House on Raven Lane. Good afternoon.
Oh, you startled me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have...
Oh, no, it's my fault. I was miles away, somewhere between spring and summer.
You should be complimented on your garden.
Oh, thank you. It's both a burden and a joy. It feeds us and provides much of what we need.
You sound like a witch.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, no, I meant as in a Wicca or chemist.
I see. Yes, I guess you could be right. I do create many charms and potions from petal and leaf. Such pretty young things.
Is that horrible letter meant for you?
Oh, don't. That silly old codger. He should know better. His affections upset my dear Robert, bless him. He's a sensitive soul.
Robert?
Oh, where are my manners? I'm Catherine Carswell. My husband Robert is in his workshop, fuming at present.
Why is that?
He's convinced I'm going to run off with the farmer.
And are you?
Oh, goodness no, smelly man. I'll get no joy from Robert until he's calmed himself.
How will you do that?
Via his stomach, as always.
I can smell cooking.
Ah, that'll be the broth. I'm making lunch. Why don't you join us?
I'd love to. What's on the menu?
An old favourite, 7 pigeon and nut broth. It's an Anglo-Saxon recipe.
Really? Now there's a thing. Is it, well, edible?
Good heavens, I should hope so. Perhaps you could help.
I'm not exactly a TV celebrity chef, though.
TV chefs? What's that? You've lost me.
Oh, not to worry. Where do we start?
I'll pick some more of these bay leaves while you read the recipe. It's in the kitchen, past Jasper the parrot.
I'll have a look around, if you don't mind. It's been washed smooth by heavy spring rain. This must be Jasper, the parrot. Maybe a mockingbird instead. The patterned stone is heavily cracked, probably frost damage.
Maybe it's paint or oil.
Excuse me, but can you...
I've told you, silly goose, that I'm not to be disturbed.
No, Mr. Carswell, I am not...
The afternoon post or my lunch is all I'm expecting. Now get to it. There's precious work to be done. Maybe it's paint or
Good afternoon. About these ingredients.
I'll prepare the birds and bacon while you shop in the hedgerows and woodlands.
Where will I find the cobnuts?
Cobnuts or hazelnuts, as you might know them, grow in the small thickets of the wood just down the lane.
Where will I find the wood mushrooms?
The answer's in the name, but I will add that you'll want to find a shady patch, perhaps near the old monument.
Does the garlic grow in your garden?
No, wrong season, I'm afraid. You'll have to find some wild garlic near the stream. It likes the damp. But avoid the train line.
I thought the trains weren't running.
Oh, don't worry yourself, just stay away from the train tracks.
Where can I find the chives?
There's some early flowering wild varieties in the drier soil at the top of the lane.
Can I ask something else?
Of course, there's no rush.
I'll have a look around, if you don't mind. Fresh chives, picked from the lane. Wild garlic on the stream. I already have this. Last winter's cobnuts, picked from the tree. Woodland mushrooms. Can I ask something else?
If you have any ingredients, Nigel, do add them to the pot.
I'll have a look around, if you don't mind.
If you have any ingredients, Nigel, do add them to the pot. Ah, wood mushrooms, chopped to perfection. Ah, the cob nuts, crushed perfectly. Wild garlic, perfectly chopped. Chives, freshly trimmed.
Is that all? Is the broth ready to stew?
Almost. We need one final ingredient, something rather special.
Aha, tell me more.
We need some hedgerow balm. It's a natural sedative. It will flavour the broth as well as provide a little stress relief. For that husband of mine, he won't notice a thing.
What does balm look like?
There's a painting in the bedroom. Take a good look.
Robert Carswell. Catherine Carswell. This must be the soothing balm. I think I saw some. Yes, in the hedge. The pattern has been bleached by the summer sun. This must be the soothing balm.
If you have any ingredients, Nigel, do add them to the pot. There, it's ready to stew. It will need a good 2 hours in this stove. You look exhausted. Put your feet up by the hearth, and I'll put the kettle on.
Having eaten, Robert Carswell may be more accommodating. I am sorry for disturbing your work earlier today.
No, it is I who should apologize. I get carried away, you see.
I'd like to discuss something with you.
Very well, there's no time like the present.
Catherine is a wonderful cook and great company.
Aye, she's a pretty young thing, and sharp as a blackthorn. I don't know what I'd do without her.
She seems devoted.
Aye, but that old scarecrow up the lane has his eye on her.
The farmer? I don't think you have any worries, Mr. Carswell. Was the broth to your satisfaction?
Wonderful, as always. Oh yes. It amazes me what Catherine can conjure from the weeds that grow around this old farm.
Old farm? Ah, maybe you can help me. Do you know anything about the previous owners, the Agers?
Ager... No, can't say that I do. We nabbed this place at auction back in the 60s.
The 60s? But you were only... Never mind. Do go on.
Well, the place was done for, burnt out, falling down. Cost us, well, Catherine's folks, a pretty penny to make livable again.
Did you find anything valuable when you first arrived?
Valuable? Well, no. There were a few sheep camped out in the park.
No hidden passages, compartments, treasures?
Ha, you've been reading too much Enid Blyton.
Is there anything significant about the house?
Well, they say that the house is one of the last of Northfield.
Northfield?
Aye, the old village name. The rest is gone now, but the church remains.
The church? What church?
Aye, it's up through the woods, somewhere.
You're not a churchy person?
Not really. Not really the happy-clappy type.
Let's talk about something else.
Very well.
What are you up to? It looks like archaeology.
Close. It's actually geology. Well, that's what I tell myself.
Are you stuck with something?
Aye, you could say that. I found this slab near the old millstones, up in Carrion Wood.
Where did you find the round slabs?
Scattered all over Carrion Wood. Some were under the soil. Others were exposed, like they were waiting to be found.
The woods have a strange atmosphere, don't you think?
Aye, they do. I don't mind admitting that there's corners to that wood that give me the shivers.
Ghosts, perhaps.
Oh, listen to us, spooking ourselves.
Millstones? Carrion Wood?
Aye, the woods down the lane. At the summit there's a series of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. We call them millstones, seen as they're turnable.
One of the stones has been destroyed.
Aye, that'd be me, I'm afraid. Got a little carried away with my geology. Chipping away, the whole blasted thing collapsed.
What are these round slabs for?
That's what I'm trying to work out. They have a pattern on them, a symbol,
Do you think it's significant?
a story perhaps, or direction. I found them near the millstones.
So you think there's a connection?
Aye, I do. You should read my notes if you haven't already.
Let's talk about something else.
Very well.
Have you lived here long?
Getting on for a few years now. Why do you ask?
Do you know anything about the previous owners, the Agers?
Ager? No, can't say that I do. We nabbed this place at auction back in the 60s.
The 60s? But you were only... Never mind. Do go on.
Well, the place would cost us...
Let's talk about some...
Very well.
I'll leave you in peace.
Pop back should you need anything.
I'll make a note. That must be the tower of Northville Church. Now I know where to find it. The church tower is castle-like. The graveyard is well kept for somewhere so isolated. Large black crows are watching me. The door is rusted shut. William Ager. Ager. A name to look out for. 3 crowns. A link to the legend. The flowers are dry, old and brittle. Perfect. This will capture any visitors or paranormal phenomena. The Black Death comes to East Anglia. Ugh, morbid. The choir stalls are empty. There's definitely something. I should listen to the recording. A recording from the church pews. These panels should have some sort of decoration or carving. They have been worn smooth. These panels should have some sort. The statue's hands appear to be missing. What on earth is that? This could be orb activity. The carving features two medieval ladies and a coat of arms carved into slate. The camera has captured something. The tapestry features 3 crowns, a link, a definite link to the legend, and must be getting close. Good afternoon, Vicar. May I speak with you?
Oh, very well, if you must. But time and tide wait for no man, and I've lost something terribly important. I really must find it.
Maybe I could help you find it.
Oh, bless you, dear little man.
Can you tell me what we are looking for?
If I could, I would. I simply can't remember. I just know that I need it, and it's terribly important.
Well, where did you leave it?
It's around here somewhere. Oh, then again, let me think. Where would I have put something so important? My memory is not what it was.
When did you lose it?
Ah, I believe I lost it between Wednesday and Friday.
Bye for now.
Feel free to wander God's house.
Something about those eyes. That's not right. What is that? There's definitely something. I should listen to the recording. A recording from the church sanctuary. Thursday. The vicar lost Thursday. Good afternoon, Vicar. May I speak with you?
Oh, very well, if you must. For time and tide wait for no man.
I found this on the notice board. It appears to be a service plan for next Thursday.
Oh, dearie me, yes, I lost Thursday. I'm always losing Thursday. Bless you, young man. My week is complete. Oh, goodness, I'm late delivering Thursday to the flower arrangers. The WI women create the most lovely arrangements. A true symphony of petal, bud, and leaf. Take Thursday and give it to Nanny Noah. She'll know what to do.
Yes, I'm sure I can do that. I was planning to return to Saxton once my business here is finished.
Business? Oh, how very odd. What business?
Does the name Ager mean anything to you?
Ager? Ager, Yes, that name does ring a bell. Let me see.
I believe the Agers lived nearby.
It's a very old name in these parts, so I wouldn't doubt it. There's a William Ager buried in the churchyard, along with his ancestors.
Did the Agers have strong connections with Northville Church?
Oh, good heavens, yes. Thomas Ager, who died in 1799, was a rector of this very church. I must say that I am thrilled to find our history so interesting.
What happened to Thomas Ager?
It's interesting that you should ask, as there's a whiff of mystery surrounding his later years. He came into a large sum of money, most of which he ploughed straight back into the church. When money is given to such a worthwhile cause, people tend to accept, no questions asked.
Did Thomas Ager have a large family?
The Acres were a very large family in Thomas's time. Slowly the family number decreased and finally vanished some years ago. William was the last, poor wretched soul. He drove himself to an early grave, you know. He was in a terrible state. The family line was drawing to a close, and he feared there would be nobody to carry the family name. I always sensed that he carried with him a terrible burden, a secret of some description. Perhaps it was a family secret, passed down from one generation to the next. I dare say old Thomas Ager would have shared the burden in his time. But that is all in the past, and we must always look to the future.
Can I ask some other questions? Can I ask about the churchyard?
I'll help you if I can.
The churchyard is kept very well for such an isolated spot.
Oh yes, Mr. Russet keeps the place looking spick and span when he's not hiding from the crows. He hates the feathered fiends. They terrify him, in fact.
The churchyard is kept.
Oh yes, he hates the...
Do you mind the crows? They seem to own the church.
All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. I cannot dislike the crows, dear boy. They are all God's creatures. Do the crows frighten you?
I can understand why people are superstitious about them.
The old faith in these parts believed that the crows were spies and messengers of the Dark Lords and Earth Gods. Silly, superstitious nonsense. Although I must admit that they do seem to watch our progress through life with envious eyes.
Why is the church so isolated?
The Black Death, my boy, the Black Death. There was once a thriving community based around the church tower. When the disease struck the village, it came with no warning. Whole generations were lost overnight. Terrible, terrible tragedy. No evidence of the old village remains, as many of the buildings are now hidden by the encroaching woodland beyond the church wall.
Can I ask some other questions? Can I ask you about the church?
Of course you may. Go ahead.
Who is that in the painting?
Ah, that's my great. Ugh, he's an ancestor, a very old one. He was vicar of this parish for 50 years, back in the 18th century. He knew a thing or two about keeping the heathen masses subdued. I can only wish I shared his talent in that department. I must say, it is wonderful to meet someone of your generation who is interested in our history. What makes you so different?
It comes naturally. I've always been interested in history.
Motivation is always a good thing, no matter what the cause. The devil makes work for idle hands, you know.
How long have you been vicar of this church?
A very short time. I moved back to this area 30 years ago. I'm still new to the parish.
30 years? I'm 30 years old. Why do people still see you as an outsider?
There are families around Northfield with ancestry dating back to the Doomsday Book. I am a very new arrival, you see.
Who is the statue of the sleeping man?
I have no idea. There are those who know these things, find them interesting, but I am not one of them. That statue takes up valuable church space and is a distraction to the congregation. It is a trial to keep their attention at the best of times.
It gives off a strange atmosphere, almost as if that corner of the church was special in some way.
Special? I have not noticed anything special.
Do you play the violin?
No, not for an awfully long time. There just are not enough hours in the day. The Lord, in all his generosity, provides ample time for contemplation, but my violin will have to wait.
I bet this old church has secrets.
Oh dear, You young people are so adventurous these days. Always looking for darkness in forgotten corners, mystery in your own shadow. But I dare say this building has seen some horrors, mystery, and intrigue. They say the building is built upon an Anglo-Saxon sanctuary of reflection, whatever that means. If you are interested in such things, which you obviously are, you should speak with old Russet. You can find him in the churchyard.
Can I ask some other questions? I'll have a look around, if you don't mind.
Feel free to wander God's house.